Alright, Squire William here for Hard LARP. I'm going to do some single sword saber freestyle on this Pell here. This is the handle and triggers I'm working with. I just built this sword, and let's write a little bit of a narrative here. I just built this sword and I don't really like it much, and my opponent here has an extremely high level of skill, and then we've slowed him down to about 1/8 normal speed. So skilled opponent, 1/8 speed. And I have a kind of a process I do here where I start with a very minimal amount of activity, and then I kind of ramp it up, and then I get more intense and more complicated. So I'm just going to get to work here. I'm going to try not to hit this bench here while I'm working. So first, I tend to pretend I'm just blocking. This guy is so fantastically skilled, I have no time to throw any shots. So all I do is block and get myself to safety. So it's a bit of a footwork drill and an imaginary blocking drill. If you see me move in a staccato motion, I'm doing one of two things. A, I'm using my fast twitch muscles to get to a new location as absolutely quick as possible because it's an emergency, because a shot is coming in. Or at the moment I switch directions, sometimes I will squeeze the handle of the sword. This I swear it protects my joints. It seems counterintuitive, but I swear squeezing the handle the moment it impacts with another weapon, especially if your sword impacts with a heavy weapon or a shield. If you're squeezing the handle at that moment, I swear it protects your joints. Okay, so another thing I do to protect my joints is I use triggers. Now I can hang the sword off of my grip rather than having to use my grip to hold it in my hand. So it allows me to relax my hand a lot more, and so I can be more conscious of squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And I don't always do this tightening of the hand practice when I block. Sometimes the block just moves through space, but sometimes the block will bounce off their weapon, and it's a staccato sort of ugly feeling and emergency movement. It's rushed, it's hurried. It's not my preference, but it happens so much that if I'm going to fight how I train, I'm going to have some sudden emergency movements built into my muscle memory. I would prefer to only do circular, flowery movements for all of sword fighting, but I am not such a gifted fighter yet that I can make all my movements perfectly round with no kink in them. Right now, I have some kinks in my movement because I'm often a reactive fighter. So I'm playing catch up to the opponent's strategy a lot of the times. And that means I have to move in a hurry, in kind of a ungraceful fashion. Right? But let's lean into it. Sometimes you get to do perfectly round, flowery movements, and sometimes bang, 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 bang. Their blows are coming in too fast, and you got to get there in a hurry and just get your weapon in play. In those instances, a lot of times I will squeeze my hand, so my staccato movement in air, freestyling in front of this Pell, has some thought behind it. I'm not just jerking. I'm anticipating contact with a heavy weapon and a bounce. And it's going to happen a lot because I have to do emergency blocks of incoming shots in a hurry basically every fight. So I'm training how I fight, fighting how I train. When I start having more successes using only flowery movements, then I will employ these movements because they feel better. So, I normally start my Pell practice just feeling the distance between me and the Pell and imagining a flurry of blows coming at me at 1/8 speed. So pretending that I don't have time to do anything but block, and then I'll start throwing a shot or two. I'm trying to move my body every time I move the sword. So if I do a block, I lean or I step. If I throw a shot, I lean or I step. And if I lean, it's almost always both. But I am anticipating last minute changes in location so that I'm not there when a shot comes at me. I have to do it a lot. I have to just do this. I have to bail out of any tactic I was doing and just shift my weight back to save my life, which works. Not my preferred. I'd rather step comfortably and mystify my opponent with my nearly impossible change in timing and location to where they can't hit me. One day we'll get there. Until then, I have to make different types of location change, including correct stepping and also sudden, desperate shifts of body. So start working in some thrusts. It's just better on your joints if you always make smooth movements. But there are many times in fighting where you have to make sudden emergency movements. So I train those movements even though they don't look very pretty and they don't feel the best. And hopefully someday fighting will just feel like this. More of those jerky movements. Oh no, shots are coming in. I have to respond quickly. And then of course, the more fluid movements that we prefer. jacket into a strategy. So if I miss completely, I try to turn it into another shot. If I get stuck immediately, we're going to fisticuffs. So I try to turn all the real bad snafus into strategies. Alright, I guess that's good for now. Thanks for watching.